Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Flash 2023. This is a new film from Warner Brothers DC. This is PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 24 minutes with a Rotten Tomato score as of the recording of this video of 69% for the critics, 95% for the audience. So I was lucky enough to be able to attend an early screening for this, but I wanted to put out the video on the day of the release, or at least on the Thursday before, when screenings are actually available, because I want to make sure that people that are looking for a review get something out of it. So this film is directed by Andy Muschietti, who has done films like Mama and the It movies, It Chapter 1 and 2. Written by Christina Hodson, who wrote Birds of Prey and Bumblebee, which there are two films that I really enjoy, so that might tell you how I'm going to end up feeling about the film overall. With a screenplay by Joby Harold, who did the screenplay as well for Rise of the Beast Transformers, which we have a review for that on the channel as well, and also for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. Now, I do want to upfront mention there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about Ezra Miller. There's a lot of stuff that that's happening in with them, but I'm not gonna cover any of that here. I think that if you're somebody that feels like you don't want to go watch this movie, it is completely understandable. But for those that do end up watching the movie, and because I got the opportunity to go to screening, I wanted to get my opinion out there. So I just wanted to kind of kick off the review with that. So now let me give you a quick synopsis. We'll talk about the cast and get into the review. In this film, worlds collide when Barry uses his superpowers to travel back in time in order to change the events of his past. But when his attempts to save his family inadvertently alters the future, Barry becomes trapped in a reality in which General Zod has returned, threatening annihilation, and there are no superheroes to turn to. That is, unless Barry can coax a very different Batman out of retirement and an imprisoned Kryptonian, albeit not the one he may be looking for. Ultimately, to save the world that he is in and return to the future that he knows, Barry's only hope is to race for his lives, but will making the ultimate sacrifice be enough to save the universe? This movie, like I mentioned, stars Ezra Miller as Barry Allen the Flash, reprising their role from the previous DC films. We also have the introduction of Sasha Calle as Supergirl, who to me is one of the standouts of the film. We also have Ben Affleck as Batman Bruce Wayne. Also, Michael Keaton as Batman Bruce Wayne. Now, the fact that there are two Batman in this movie should also tell you how I feel about the movie. Um, Michael Shannon returns as General Zod. Ron Livingston is now recast as Henry Allen, Barry's dad. Kiersey Clemens returns as Iris West, and Maribel Verdú as Nora Allen, who is Barry's mom. So overall, The Flash takes this film. It is really a nostalgic trip into the world of superheroes, offering a solidly entertaining experience with a goofier tone than some may be expecting. I think that goofiness of this film and the lightheartedness of this film may be one of the things that some of the audience doesn't really fully connect with. I think this film successfully delivers laughs, action, fan service, and emotions. And in occasional moments, just it may be disrupted by some things that go on a little bit too long. So that'll be interesting to see how the audience's response to that. I will say one of the notable aspects of The Flash is the ability of the film to balance the humor and lightheartedness with the thrilling action sequences, with some of the darker themes that are part of this film. This film is definitely a lot about tragedy and loss and how people handle that. And the film doesn't shy away from exploring those topics while also just injecting goofiness into certain scenes and embracing that some of these characters are weird and quirky, and they just really inject it with a lot of charm. These moments provide levity, they provide comedic relief, and add a playful layer to the overall narrative, which can be enjoyable if you're looking for a lighter tone in your superhero film. Um, The film's comedic beats are very well timed and they often deliver laughs. Uh, the audience that I was with was having a lot of fun. Now, granted, this is an audience of people that were looking for a screening to watch The Flash earlier, so the results there may be a little askew. But there are some humorous interactions between these characters that just create a sense of uh, camaraderie. And it really fills in the gaps of what's been going on in between all these films. How have those relationships grown? Some of these lighthearted moments also serve as a reminder that superhero stories can be fun and have an enjoyable side, but also on the flip side, how some of these things can lead to a very sad and emotional story. But it's fun either way to take a break from these intense action sequences with some of the stuff. Now, speaking of the action, The Flash delivers accelerating superhero moments that showcase the speed and agility of the Flash. I think there's some really fun, well choreographed sequences that are a very interesting exploration of what you can do with the speed powers of the Flash and some things that really we haven't seen on the screen. The adrenaline rush that you can kind of get from looking at stuff like that, and the juxtaposition of high speed action with the film's goofier moments creates an interesting dynamic, adding an overall really outstanding entertainment value for the film. In addition to all this, the Flash really embraces the fan service and the fans, paying homage to the character's rich history and lore, paying homage to everything that we've seen so far. This film includes a lot of nods and really fun references and Easter eggs that will probably be part of a different video because I don't want to get into any spoilers. But longtime fans will definitely appreciate a lot of these sparkling moments of recognition. These elements deepen the connection between the film and the audience, and they celebrate all the work that's been done through DC. Whether you're one of the people that have enjoyed every film or not, I think it's just really um, in, inviting the viewers to embark in one last journey in this in this phase of the DC universe. Um, it is worth noting that this film may not resonate the same with everyone. I think there's a very tightrope element to how this humor and the seriousness of the storytelling can affect the audience. I think some of this stuff, specifically, there's a lot of Ezra Miller, there's a lot of Barry Allen in this film. So if that's something like that, that may only go so far for you. Barry Allen is definitely one of the goofier characters on here, but there's also the character also brings a lot of gravitas and emotion to the role, and I think it's really fun to explore both aspects of the character. But like I said, this is a movie about the Flash, so there will be a lot of Flash on the screen. Um, Another thing, one of my minor criticisms is that the runtime can be a little bit too long. I think there was a few scenes that I really did not. Just smaller sequences where they were trying to inject a little bit more humor. They weren't even used to expand the world. They really felt out of place. I'm specifically talking about one scene that really felt out of place. I hope that when you see this film, you'll note what I'm talking about. Or it could be just that something that was missed on me. Additionally, the CGI effects exhibit a mix of quality. I think there's some moments really showcasing seamlessly visuals, while others kind of fall short. These occasional inconsistencies may distract you for a moment, but I think overall, the film does a good job pulling you back into that. I want to talk a little bit about some of the performances. Like I said, it's really fun to have Michael Shannon back as General Zod. I always enjoy that role. I always enjoy that character. I think the character design's always been super cool. So it's really fun to see that again. Uh, Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, they both have really perfected their character or their characterization of Batman so well, and Bruce Wayne as well. But Michael Keaton goes even above and beyond that because he hasn't been that character for a few decades now. So going back to that role, it really just felt like he never missed a beat. I think Michael Keaton did a good job just maybe building up to the character and reprising that role after so many years, maybe following up on a Batman that where things have not gone fully as planned. Um, it's very interesting to see how different the Batman are for Ben Affleck's performance versus Michael Keaton's. As I mentioned, Sasha Kaye, one of the standouts of the film. I love her performance. I love the emotion that she brought to the film. She really is, a fish out of water in this film because she is a Kryptonian that has a very different story to the one that we know from Superman, from the Men of Steel films. Like, even though it's stuff that very much looks similar to that world, I think the character is completely different, and Sasha Kaye really explores that stuff. But also when it comes down to get to the action, she's also fantastic in that role. Last but not least, Ron Livingston and Maribel Verdú, they both do great performances as Barry's parents. Um, they are part of the reason that the movie can be very emotional because of the relationship between them and Barry. So that was really great to explore. So overall, I think you're going to be very satisfied with this. There is so much stuff, like I said, specifically in the third act for the fans. There's also a one after credit scene all the way at the end of the credits, so make sure to stay for that. Um, like I said, I'll do a different video on all my favorite cameos and performances and just all the little Easter eggs. Once the film is out and people have time to watch it. But yeah, this was a great experience. I can't wait to go watch the film again once it's out released. As of you probably watching this video, I'll be trying to watch the film again. So I'm very excited to explore this world again and go in and really see all the things that I probably miss in this, in this trip throughout the Flashpoint universe. One last thing, I think this is a perfect way to kind of close out the previous stage of the DCU while also opening a new door. So it's very exciting, I think, as a fan of these films and a fan of comic book films and a fan of everything that's coming up. So um, let me know what you thought about this film down in the comments. Uh, and also make sure to stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, more movie reviews. We also did a retro review of The Flashpoint Paradox, which is the animated film that is also kind of based on some of the same material as this film. So I think that that'll be fun for you guys to also check out. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.